Whether you're having a vomit fight with your crew, sailing a ship under the Northern Lights, defeating a skeleton crew, or finding buried treasure, if you do anything in Sea of Thieves with friends, it's an absolute blast. But it's easy to see where the leaks are and where patches are required to stop this rapidly becoming a sinking ship. Rare has confirmed that it's going to give us free Sea of Thieves updates going forward, and rumour has it that one is going to introduce live events of some kind and expand the map. But until then, and probably after to be honest, here's 8 ways to fix Sea of Thieves. Number 1. Let us create a pirate from scratch. Although the infinite pirate generator sounds good on paper, in practice there's nothing quite as satisfying as just creating your own pirate from scratch. Although I was fairly fond of my pirate's cuddly roundness and big moon face to begin with, I now would quite like to put her on a pirate diet that doesn't just consist of bananas. But that's not an option in Sea of Thieves. Once you've chosen your starter pirate, all you can do is kit them out with new clothes, very expensive ones I might add, and there's not even an option to change the hair colour. Allegedly, Rare is working on hair colour options and tattoos, but there's been no talk of full character customisation. Number 2. Put more life in the seas. In all the time I've spent playing Sea of Thieves so far, I've only met the Kraken once. It was certainly a momentous occasion, especially as we had no idea that the darkening waters around us meant the 8-legged beastie was on its way, but I've never seen it since. It's not entirely the Kraken's fault that the game's waters quite feel so empty though. There's not a lot out there in the big blue. There would be something quite magical about sailing along only to notice a school of dolphins swimming along beside the boat, or spotting a whale cresting the waves. Heck, there's tons of potential for introducing more mythical beasts to the depths too, from mermaids, which have been seen swimming around wrecks in screenshots, to Moby Dick himself. I'm not asking for the full cast of The Little Mermaid to rock up the next time I'm sailing around, but a little more variety wouldn't go amiss. Isn't that right, Sebastian? Number 3. Make Outposts more of a destination. The argument about whether to make Outposts safe, PvP-free zones constantly rages on Reddit, and I can see both sides. On the one hand, having someone kill you and steal your chest just meters away from the gold hoarder's tent is the most frustrating thing ever, but on the other, you're a pirate, and pirates aren't the nice guys. Regardless of whether outposts will become safe zones, what they do need is to evolve. Making them safe zones would help that, with players more willing to hang out at the hubs to interact with other players, but there just needs to be more to do there too. Minigames could be part of that, from gambling and shooting competitions to drinking games and fishing. There's plenty of scope in a pirate's traditional repertoire to explore that could make the outpost a more interesting and lively place to be. Number 4. Improve the quality of the Merchant Alliance missions. Anyone who's played Sea of Thieves will know the pain of trying to find check-ins for the Merchant Alliance missions. In fact, there's a general consensus that the Merchant Alliance missions are the weakest of the 3 factions. There are so many irritations about the repetition and effort required for the little reward for the Merchant Alliance. The higher level you get, the more animals and goods you have to find. There's no challenge apart from actually finding an island with the required creatures on it. Tied into the idea of making the seas more alive, there could be more variation in what you need to find. A kraken tentacle, whale blubber, a piece of shipwreck, the list goes on. While I'm on the subject too, can we just have chicken coops, pig pens and snake baskets as part of our inventory, please? The fact you have to vote on a Merchant Alliance voyage and then go back to the vendor again to get your basket is insane, especially when you have to do it multiple times if you're going out solo in a sloop. Please fix it. 5. Make merchants themselves more visible. It also seems strange that these merchants are total landlubbers. Never do you see a Merchant Alliance, or any other merchants for that matter, sailing the ships with their wares. Imagine if there was the opportunity to take down non-player merchant ships, accompanied perhaps by protective AI ships full of cargo to plunder. The difficulty in taking them down could increase depending on the cargo they're carrying, and would help to make the world feel like it's a living and breathing entity, rather than a strangely empty blank canvas. Number 6. Fill the world with mysteries and large-scale events. While you might find the odd message in a bottle giving you yet another treasure map, the world of Sea of Thieves is crying out for events and mysteries that you could just stumble across. Ghost ship sightings, whale hunts, fishing for the legendary Billy Big Bass, races, discovering the long-lost mermaid colony, or other events or side stories would make everything feel less like one long series of fetch quests. Number 7. Make fighting skeleton forts less of a slog. Aimed squarely at filling the slot of big MMO raids are skeleton forts, which are indicated by a giant skull cloud in the sky with glowing eyes. After defeating around 10 to 20 waves of different types of skeletons, you get to fight the skeleton captain and potentially get the key to the loot cave. But although there's nothing quite like defeating a captain and walking away with all that loot, there comes a point somewhere in those 10 to 20 waves where you feel like things could have been a little more creative. These are team-based events, so why not make the most of that, rather than just using it as a tactic for keeping at least one person alive at all times? It could be that one person has to hold the loot door open as another sneaks the loot out, while the other members are holding off the skeleton hordes. Or it could be made into more of a quest, with several elements of Sea of Thieves gameplay combining to make the ultimate quest for loot. For example, beat a smaller number of skeleton waves, tackle the captain, and then follow the map to the cave. But you've got to get there before the door of the loot cave closes. Not quite as complicated as Destiny's raids, mind you, but just a little less horde mode. 8. Make playing solo fun. While it's obvious that Sea of Thieves is supposed to be played with friends, sometimes it's just not possible to get a crew together, and sometimes you just want to sail the seas without some jackass playing the concertina all the damn time. The problem is, if you do go out on the sea solo, it's really hard. If you come up against a bigger ship, you're going to sink. The solo slooper isn't particularly well protected, and it can't even outrun a bigger galleon, so against 4 cannons you have no chance. Then there's the fact that you're all alone, which goes back to my point about the seas needing more life. There should be some benefit to playing solo, like more loot, different missions, unique unlockable outfits, just something. So, there's our list of things we think would improve Sea of Thieves. If you have any suggestions, then let us know in the comments below, click the box on the left for more content from us, and don't forget to hit that big button in the middle for more gaming news, reviews, previews, and features right here on GameTrader Plus.